Let's talk about another issue that could cause some sort of acrimony in the electorate, so to speak. Albo wants to hold the referendum for the voice to Parliament sometime in his first term. Now, there's a good chance that the electorate will vote no to this. If it does, will this leave Albo looking weak and out of touch, Amanda?
If that's the outcome, then yes, I think it would. It would also, I think, have the opportunity for those common sense Australians who have, been giving the Prime Minister something of a honeymoon in his first 100 days, a real moment that says, hold on a moment, this guy's done nothing about inflation. He's done nothing about the cost of living. He's done very little about our geopolitical stability, and he's done very little to secure our supply chains. And yet the one thing he spent all his time on, virtue signalling with this constitutional change that will do very, very little in the lives of our most vulnerable Indigenous Australians. And he can't even do that. So I think it would be a high risk for him, but there's a lot of work to be done, in my view, to ensure that the dangers associated with the Uluru proposal for changing our constitution are really understood by the community, because it carries with it so many dangers to the institutions that have provided all the stability and prosperity and freedom and social equality that this country has been built on. We don't want to jeopardise that.
Yeah, I think a lot of Australians understand that too. I mean, Albo's taking quite a risk in thinking that such a voice would be an improvement to the Constitution. But let's talk about what got Albo into office in the first place. A lot of the commentary about Albo during the last election campaign was that he was just a decent bloke from a housing commission upbringing, and that was one of the reasons why people were drawn to him. But electing a bloke because he's likeable is a luxury we can afford in easy times. Do you think that'll still be the case in 2025?
Look, I think times will be harder in 2025. I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope that Australians feel wealthy and secure. But I really do think that, given what's going on in the world and what is trending internationally and even domestically, we're going to be facing difficult times on both fronts. That means we need to ask some pretty serious questions about whether or not Mr. Albanese is equipped for those challenges. By the time of the next election, we will have seen 3 years of what I expect will be ineffectual efforts on getting inflation under control. We will see a great step up in the activity of unions, and there's already, in the context of the Wages and Jobs Summit, been an indication that industry-wide bargaining, pattern bargaining, as it was known back in the 1970s, is back on the cards. And even the sensible heads of the Labor Party, like former Member of Parliament Michael Danby, are freely admitting that that's a huge step backwards economically for our country.